Let's play a clip. This is Cornel West, who is definitely my favorite American public intellectual, probably global public intellectual. Here he is. First clip, he's talking about Bernie Sanders and radical democracy.
Well, it's interesting. One of the things that Senator Sanders said, and he said on the program earlier this week as well, is that Donald Trump's actually a socialist. He's just a corporate socialist, not a socialist, a democratic socialist.
When Martin Luther King Jr. said we need a reshaping of our priorities in terms of vision, values, and virtue. This is the primacy of the moral and the spiritual as it relates to a systemic social analysis of power, be it empire, be it capitalism, white supremacy, male supremacy, homophobia, transphobia, what have you. And so what we saw, and this is what made Brother Bernie's speech so historically significant. We've never seen in the history of American presidential politics this kind of thoroughgoing democratic. It was radically democratic. It allowed for those Slash Stone called everyday people, those James Cleveland called ordinary people to be center stage. Not the elites, not stock market, not the powerful, but everyday people.
It's sort of, I don't know if it's ironic.
So that's exactly, I think that was the deeper dimension of Bernie's speech as well. We're going to go on to the part where he disses Joe Biden when we have that. And Cornel West definitely knows how to show a lot of love, and he also definitely knows how to show a lot of shade.
Throw some shade, yeah.
Oh, he's a master shade thrower.
On one hand, you got Brother Biden. Now, we know Brother Biden's a decent brother in a lot of ways, but he's a backward-looking, die-in-the-war neoliberal with limited vision and even less courage.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
He's got to check and see what the polls say.
And he
That's so good. Can we do this? So good.
It's so good.
Alona was doing the hands. You were doing the hands. She was doing the Cornel West hands. Then we have Bernie.
That is unacceptable. So that on the one hand, you got Brother Biden. Now, we know Brother Biden's a decent brother in a lot of ways.
Here we go.
But he's a backward-looking, die-in-the-war neoliberal with limited vision and even less courage. So he's got to check and see what the polls say.
And he...
That's so good.
You know what I love? I love that he has two modes. So when he says something like, Bernie Sanders is my, vanilla brother, you go, okay, well, here's the soliloquy coming. And then what's awesome is that when he says, Joe Biden's is a good man, then it's like, the soliloquy's coming. Like it's the same starting point for total exaltation or complete shade. Here he is on Bernie and how he taps into who people really are.
Border, precious Muslims, and so forth and so on. But what Brother Bernie will do is say, look, I know that even though you may have tendencies to support Brother Trump, in fact, I speak not just to your interests, but your sense of who you are. And that's what neoliberal elites were unable to do. Neoliberal elites were still tied to Wall Street, military-industrial complex, and acting as if they're looking down on working people, that liberal arrogance, that liberal self-righteousness that needs to be called into question.
But,
he's so right about that. I mean, he caught every single dynamic of how these races work, according to me, in that line. And that's the deeper version, because Joe Biden's running around with this like, this isn't who we are.
Yeah.
Well, who are we, Joe? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But that deeper, you could be better than this and also serve your own interests, because there's people who have absolutely no respect for you that are playing to your worst. That's a powerful message. And yes, free of all the liberal disrespect.
Yeah, and he's like who you really are, right? Versus the kind of way that you're being portrayed and being pandered to by this bigot Trump. Who are you as a real person? What do you want? And that's where Bernie Sanders is so good. It's he says, you want to live in a society where people are taken care of. You want to live in a society where if you, work, you're taken care of, that people aren't being screwed over by this horrible system. And that speaks to so many fucking people. And, it's just, I don't know. Cornel West is an amazing speaker. He really speaks to, he can talk to any audience and really move you.
Absolutely. Did you ever interview him? Have you ever interviewed him?
I don't think so.
I feel like you would have.
I know that sounds weird, but I constantly forget people who I've interviewed because there have been Because there have been so many. I didn't make it sound like that, but the truth is, honestly, I forget. I don't think so.
You've just watched a Michael Brooks show video, and you can watch all of our full main live shows every Tuesday night at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and subscribe to get all of the clips you want. We're covering the globe. We're focusing on international relations, the intellectual dark web. We're having fun. We're doing deep dives with a lot of amazing guests. Of course, become a patron for the whole thing at patreon.com/TMBS, or subscribe to this YouTube channel and help us keep growing and get that content out there. Subscribe below.